This is my final project for electronics class for Mr. Dickey. So I'm just going to scroll down so I can show the rest of the code. Okay, so now I'm going to explain what happened. So basically the first thing that's happening here is we're telling it to include #include serial software.h. This is the software library for the LCD monitor. Without it, this is not going to work. So then we're going to have to tell software serial, my serial, LED, Arduino pins 3 and 2 for RX and TX. We're only using pin 2 rather than pin 3. Then we're moving on to the identified variables. So we're telling all of these to we're identifying them as integers, except for the char array, but I'll get to that in a second. We're identifying all of these as integers. So we're just telling it that sensor pin is equal to analog input 0. We're telling sensor value is equal to 0. We're telling integer old time 1. Then we're telling a character array. We're telling the board to prepare a character array to be sent out. That is also for the LCD screen because it cannot work without. It cannot transfer numbers like that. So then we're telling it to be a string. We're telling it to set up we're setting string to str. Then we're setting into time into last time equals 0 and then void setup. So now we're going to move on to the next half, which is my serial begin. So basically we're setting serial.begin to 9600 and my serial.begin to 9600. This is both for the board and the Arduino. We have a delay set in there because we have to give the board time to prepare to write the code on it, because this code is normally too fast for it to write. Then we're going to the void loop. So we're saying that sensor value equals analog read. We're telling it to read sensor pin. Then we go into an if statement. If sensor value is greater than 100, it's gonna run this. Oh, that's too much. It's gonna run this code. No, it's gonna run this code. This code. Down to that code right there. Anything is going to run that in between there. So it's basically what it's telling. It's telling old time equals millis, while sensor value is greater than 100. So it's going to start counting. This little rig right here will tell it to start counting. Then what's happening is that it's going to run this part of the code, which is sensor value equals analog read sensor pin. It's telling you to read the sensor pin. Then it's going to this. Time equals millis minus old time. That's how we get time 1. We're subtracting the current millis minus old time, which as was said earlier is 0. And then we're moving on to another if statement. This if statement right here, where my thumb is, runs this entire next part of the code. So if it's true, if time is greater than last time, it will run this code. If it's not true, it won't run it at all, which is the same for every if statement. So basically what it's telling it is if time 1 is greater than last time, it's going to run this. It's going to run this, which it always is. So basically what it's telling it is serial print time 1. Last time 1 equals time 1. So basically, then we have to go to my serial. My serial, basically what it is something unique to this LCD monitor. It can't write normally, so we have to tell it to start a new line, which is 254, which tells it to start a new line, and this is the first cursor. That's what it says there. We're moving the first cursor to the first line. Then we're doing my serial write. It's going to write both rows are going to be blank spaces, so it's going to clear the display. Then we're going back to my serial write 254, which moves the cursor back to the beginning, and then telling it to write it at 128. Then we're telling the string str equals string time 1, and returning time 1 into a string of numbers, what's being sent to the character array, which is being wrote in, which goes to the LCD monitor, coming up as whatever it is that's done, and that's it.